Hey there, everyone. My name is Michael Lee, and today's UX showcase is on the concept of confidence in your ideas. So I'm not sure if this is really a showcase or like my own therapy, but we'll just go through this. So are you a confident designer? So this is something I've been thinking about recently. And to be more specific, I'm thinking about, am I a confident enough designer to take some of my ideas into like a real issue and start to get them moving? And what prompted this idea was about a week ago, I shared this screenshot in Slack, and it's like this idea I had. And I was like, it'd be really cool if branches looked like this, but this discussion was around filters. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been experimenting or like toying around with ideas around how can I clean up the pages in source code, and branches was one of them. And we can organize them like this, and filters could work like this. And I realized this lives in my Figma file, in my head, in my world, in my zone, in my group. But only really I know about it because this relates to an epic that I created about 8 months ago. And epic has no images. The issues in them don't even like reference these designs. So what's holding me back? I've been thinking about this for a while because like these ideas that I have might be good, might have legs to actually get implemented, and but something's holding them back, and that's what this showcase is all about today. I even have like a part in there that says vision of how this would work, different case scenarios and stuff like that. So there is something lurking in my Figma files, but there's something about me that's holding a lot of my ideas back. So is it a lack of confidence that I have in my designs or no confidence in my designs? Well, the fact that I shared it in a Slack channel or in conversations means that I have some kind of degree of confidence in my designs. And oh, I did that. Spell button. Um, it's actually not a lack, but there's a varying degree of confidence in my designs. I have some ideas that I'm very confident about, the idea of having the layout, but then there's other areas where I'm having low confidence. So with high confidence, I'm pretty confident about this layout. I could do, this is just existing cleanup of what's there right now. There might be some questions about whether we should keep the tabs or move down to a dropdown, but in general, this could be a path forward that could be implemented soon. But there's other areas of low confidence. And I think this is the area where, in my head, holds me back from releasing or updating a lot of my issues and epics to describe the full vision. So things that are holding me back, like there's this idea of introducing your branches and commits ahead and commits behind and different ways of sorting. Because I added them to my ideas, they kind of make, I feel like I need to answer this to the full degree before I can like throw it out into an issue. There's also this idea of introducing like bulk editing for branches. And this is one approach to do it that other areas of the product use. But another part of me says, what other bulk actions could be included here? And that kind of holds me back from my thinking. Because maybe there's the ability to archive branches. And what's the difference between archive and delete and stale? Or maybe we need to show where the user's branches are. Like, is that another tab or is that a drop down? Or maybe we just highlight them in a specific way. So all these questions are swimming around in my head. And these are the things that are holding me back from releasing my vision. And this is why I think I'm locked sometimes, that I feel like I need the confidence in all these decision points across the whole vision to present it, to share it out in an issue or in an epic. But that's not the case, especially at GitLab, where we're open with transparency, we're open to new ideas, and we're open to the ideas of saying, yes, I'm sure about these areas, but I'm unsure about these areas. And then we can work as a team from there to actually break it down to see what areas are that we can tackle today and what other areas can we tackle tomorrow. So you do have the confidence in high and low. Anyways. So, with the layout, the things that were blocking me were like these added features that I decided to throw into my mockup that kind of blocked me in a way. But we could roll out with something like this with just the basics with the updated layout, and that should be sufficient to move on. Other features where like you need to think about it a little bit more, do a little bit more solution validation. Sure, go ahead, break that off into a smaller piece. And I think personally, I wanted to handle all the things at once, such as trying to do archive and your branches. But these can be thought of independently. And as a designer, we can join them together to form the complete vision. But we can tackle each of these areas independently through a solution validation or doing more user research, figure out, is this feasible, talking to engineers, how this may be done. All of these things don't need to be solved at the same time. And I think that's something that I'm still trying to overcome and trying to work with, that you can express your vision in things that you're certain about, the high confidence, and the stuff that you're not confident about, the low confidence stuff. So I would say that you can build confidence in your ideas by taking actions. So it's taking the action of, finding out what's the high confidence stuff, putting that into an issue, putting that part of an epic and saying, yeah, this is the area I'm confident about. And maybe delineating the idea that there's other areas where we have low confidence. I think one designer in a group that does really well with this is Austin, the way he presents some of his ideas. There's high confidence things he's sure about, and things that he's not sure about, he'll call it out. And I think that's something that I want to take forward in this new year, new resolution time. I'm going to try to be like a better designer, a designer who, if you ask me, are you a confident designer, to take my ideas from ideas to vision, I can say that you are a confident designer. You have it. You have low confidence and high confidence in your things. Just make that transparent, and that's how you can take action. Thank you.
Ooh, nice.
Any questions?
I don't have questions, but I do have examples that happened to me in my time at GitLab. Um, so I'm working right now in the merge request page in the change tab where we have a drop down with the versions. And to be honest, when I started to work on that, I didn't get any idea what version means. What was the difference between versions and commits and why that was important. And I put some designs together thinking that the commits, there's an overlap between commits and chains. So my first proposal was having the commits in the dropdown, and I add that into an issue. And I had so much feedback on that. And I learned so much. And I wasn't confident at all with that direction. But with the learnings that I had about just posting something that I didn't know how that works, that makes me learn how things works and why the versions were important, and how that differentiate us from our competitors. So yeah, this was a great talk. I just relate so much with it, mate. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks, Alex, for your story. Marcel?
Yeah, yeah. Again, like Alex said, that was great, and I was just wondering, how much do you feel, what a friend of mine calls analysis paralysis plays into this when you have a lot of options to think about, and all the possibility, the tree of possibilities grows and grows and grows. It takes a lot of time. So I'm wondering how much of this is low confidence versus trying to think about too many things at once, and how you feel about that.
This is probably like you went to my career progression and you're like, yeah, this is one of his weak points, analysis paralysis. So like you want to make the best decision, right? And you have low confidence in some things, high confidence. If you make a change in one area, it's good for this reason, but it breaks another reason. Like which reason is more valid to keep. And if you go down this direction, it negates all these issues. If you go down this issue, it like puts into question like directions of these other issues. So I would say it goes to the low high confidence thing again. It's you probably don't have enough research to like make that that you don't have that clarity yet. So you're kind of like in the fog. There's something holding you back on yes or no. And sometimes it could be like, oh, I'm trying to make a trade-off between visual consistency versus like functionality. If you should hide a button or display a button. And I think that is an area where you try to make the best decision with the information you have at the time. And then you kind of, I would opt for like a better workflow over visual consistency, but it is one of these magical, it depends. And I think that's why bringing the questions and ideas out in the open gets it out of your head, right? So maybe I had this once where I had to solve this one problem before I could release it to the team. And it held back the team probably like a month because I was like in this yes, no, maybe I need to do more research. But if I brought it out to the team, it turned out to be a decision that was like, it's not that important right now. You can get the time to do that, but we can move ahead with the other 80% that you've already designed and thought out and everything. So that is, I think, one of the beauties of GitLab, that you don't need to have solid 100% vision. You need to know what you're unclear about, which is those areas where it's kind of tricky. But there are areas that you're really confident about, and you can probably move forward. And yeah, that's why I think there's lots of power in sharing your ideas, not only in the Figma file, but like bringing it out into the issues for the wider audience to weigh in. Because a lot of stuff is in my head, and it's one way to like get the noises out. So yeah. All right. Thank you.